Dream Rides returns to Tennessee for the Good Guys Nationals in Nashville. This week, we take an exclusive look inside the shops of the professionals.
Dream Rides isn't just about cars that shine and show really well, it's also about cars that go really fast. This week on Dream Rides, we're at the Good Guys Nashville Nationals to check out some amazing rides. Here in Nashville, I ran into my buddy Tyler Nelson from G3 Rides. Tyler, I've known you for a while, and I know this is a great example of what you guys do at G3, and this is just a pretty easy project. You did this pretty quick. Probably took you a few weeks, right?
Oh yeah, yep. They normally take just a couple weeks. They're easy, just like the rest of the shows you see. You know, it's just like doing whatever.
Yeah. So, you know, a guy comes into your shop and says, "I need this for the Nashville Nationals," which is where we're at, and what goes into making this vehicle?
Oh, we normally just start kind of sit down with the customer, see what they want to do. This particular car was one of our real good customers. This was the 4th car we built for him, and he just brought it in, and it always comes down to the budget on it. What's the budget going to be on these cars? And it's one of the hardest things to do just because the cars are painted when they show up, and you never know what you're going to find when you get into them. So it's just another little road bump in building cars for people.
We're joking about it, but the truth is, I'm sure you get people all the time and folks watching this show who have a dream car that they want to build, and they come to your doorstep and say, "Build me this car." I mean, where do we start?
We normally start by just sitting down with them, kind of seeing what they want, if they want a custom car or a restored car, and just kind of go from there. And once we get them sat down, then we just start discussing what they want out of their car, if they want performance, if they want just stock, where they plan on going with the car, if they want to take it to shows, be a show winner, or just be a normal driver with it. And anymore, a lot of the cars we've been doing are more performance-wise. The guys want to get into the autocross and do the road racing stuff.
This particular car, when did you start this car?
We started this car about 7 months ago, and it was completed in February, so it was a pretty quick build. We had 4 guys in our shop working on it all the time. He wanted it done for a local show back in Rapid, and that's one of our things we pride ourselves on, is if you set a deadline, you make your deadline.
Talk about turning an ugly duckling into a piece of art. This car originally was kind of odd looking and didn't really set itself off from other vehicles of its day. But you look at what a master designer and builder can do, and you come up with an awesome Art Deco piece of custom artwork.
Harley Earl would have built this if they had LS motors and some of the stuff that's on the Corvette suspension that it's got underneath of it. If he had that back then. I pulled it out of a barn in 1992. It's sat in my building for about 15 years before I, finally got the nerve up to build a car. And first time I've really ever built a car to this, level. And the first thing that I'd done was got an artist to give me some 2-scale drawings of the car. And we tried several different things. We've done, half a dozen different looks, and it's like most of it's things that I wanted to do. I wanted to open the hood different. I wanted to lay the windshield back, give it, a sleeker look, and we took it about 3 inches from the front to rear out of the hood, and then there's all kinds of little subtle changes that we've done, and some of it evolved as we built the car. Just like the convertible top mechanism, we ended up having to use a different mechanism because the boot area, when we took the fender well openings, we added about 2.5 inches on each side, so we lost some of that boot area. So we had to find another convertible top mechanism. We took one out of a PT Cruiser, added 5 inches of width to it, and it worked really well. And we wanted to be subtle at what we've done. I mean, I wanted a modern drivetrain with a computerized motor. I wanted it supercharged. I've got the Corvette suspension underneath. Those were kind of some of the items that I wanted on the car, and we put on the car. And then some of, several different things on the car, like I said, just evolved by things that we had to do. Like when we laid the windshield back, I didn't like the way that the header met the windshield, because on the original cars it was like flat with like 3 pins in it, and it just didn't look right with the old header piece sitting on top of it, because it's set on top and kind of above it. And so we made it, come up like a modern car where the A-pillars come up right into the convertible top, and we put a new header across the top. The interior was a big inspiration. The builder, he made the entire interior. It's all fiberglass. He, basically designed and made, the seats, the door panels, the whole console, everything he made. The first thing that everybody says is they go, what do those seats come out of? Because they swivel. Of course we made them, and they're like a little van mechanism like that, makes them swivel and lock back in place. And that's one of the very first things that people, and then they always ask me, what is it? I get a lot of people, they like the car, they like the way it is, they go, what is it?
I just heard Dale mention Harley Earl. Now, Harley Earl is the reason we can do what we do. He was the first chief designer for General Motors. Harley came up with the idea of clay modeling for cars like this. Because of Harley, we had two-tone paint, we had hardtop sedans, he had a hand in Corvettes, and he even kind of had a hand in tail fins and all of that design work. That's when cars were art. And when you come to a show like this and see all these dream rides, you have to remember guys like Harley Earl.
What's Eric doing? And who is she? Find out after the break. This edition of Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber, is being brought to you by Flowmaster, the exhaust technology company. Precision Turbo, a leader in turbocharger technology for street and race. Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
This week on Dream Rides, we're at Advanced Plating, where, as you can see, everything is chrome. We're going to visit with Steve Tracy to find out a little bit more about his world of cars and guitars.
We'll just kind of start right over through here if you would like to. Those are rods for GE refrigerators. That's what holds your milk and your orange juice in the door.
Really?
Yeah,
so that doesn't seem as cool as hot rod chrome plating, but it pays the bills, right?
Well, let's talk about what's cool. Is this job went to Asia, and it came back to the USA,
that's awesome.
And that's cool stuff,
cool.
Man.
That's
cool
very
stuff.
Cool.
This basically is a strip room. This is where we remove all the paint, rust, grease, and oil, crap, and corruption.
Well, you had me at strip room, and that just kind of ruined it for me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So this is how it starts out.
Well, it starts out in there as a really, rotten, nasty-looking piece of metal.
Oh, here we go.
It gets stripped. Once it gets stripped, like with these bumpers here, I'm pretty sure that these have been hammered out somewhere along the line. Yeah, he's hammered these out in here. And then there's a bumper press, and it really truly is blacksmith. There's like a 57 Imperial bumper over there.
You need to be careful with that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
absolutely.
But blacksmith work, dolly, there's an anvil over there. They hammer out the dents.
How do you
grind
find
it.
Somebody who can do blacksmith work now?
Well, you just have to really find somebody that has the desire to want to do good work. And, it is somewhat of a lost art. Most of the men and women here are alike, are all real passionate car people. So what I've really surrounded myself with here is passionate car people.
You have to, because they understand how important this part is to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So these racks are solid copper. and this is actually copper wire, okay? If we were running these in a production type process, we would have racks made to put them on. But because we're so piece oriented, job shop oriented, we're basically wiring them on these copper racks for conductivity. These are called cheaters. These rob current from the points to keep them from looking like that. Okay. So we could turn the current down, but in plating, if you look at something that's shallow looking, doesn't have any depth, it doesn't have much nickel on it, probably didn't have enough current on it. So the really good stuff is the stuff that's a mile deep, and you're kind of looking at the pot belly here.
So, Steve, you've already shown us the shop. You've shown us all the amazing things that advanced plating does, but that's not why I wanted you on Dream Rides. It's because you're a car guy at heart. In fact, you're a car guy who likes to go fast, and we're here with this amazing Bonneville Salt Flat racer that you've raced it, and you've gone over 200 in. Tell me more about this car.
Well, this 32 is the Gerber Special, yes. And my buddy Chip Gerber and his father built this car up and gave me a seat in it, and we've been hitting Bonneville for the last 4 years. And we've been riding that 218 range and having a lot of fun. Yeah.
218 miles is a whole lot of effort to go through to sandblast parts. That's a little crazy.
Well, in the plating industry, our standard's measured off of salt spray, hours of salt spray, but we've took it a little bit farther. Ours is measured in mile per hour on the salt. Once again, Chip and I've kind of got together here, and we've come up with something a little new.
You have, because this is all about your dream and where you want to go, and actually it's right over here, and I don't even know where to begin on this car. It doesn't even look like a car, because I don't even think it started life out as a car, did it?
Well, it didn't, and this is just absolutely a piece of art.
It is.
And it is purpose-built for Bonneville, and started out as a fuel drop tank off of a F4 Phantom.
That would be a
fighter jet.
A jet, a plane.
Yes.
Seriously.
Correct.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then, Craig Naff got a hold of it and massaged the panels a little bit, and came up with this. Chip and Jim Howard did the chassis.
Well, what kind of person straps himself into a fighter jet and launches himself down a lake bed?
Somebody crazy enough to own a chrome shop.
We'll be right back on Dream Rides, and you never know what you're gonna get. In 2012, a young builder named Jesse Greening took the hot rod custom world by storm by winning the Riddler Award. And I finally got a chance to come to his shop here in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, Jesse, your story is not an overnight success at all. You actually started way back when in Alabama, didn't you?
Yeah, that's correct. Dad and I started the company back in '99, I believe. So it's been a good 14, almost 15 years now that we've been rolling along with it, and finally got what we have here now, and enjoying it. So. Well,
you're a long way from Alabama.
Yeah.
How did you get started in this world?
I just grew up with it with Dad.
Yeah.
He always had me around it, and he'd always been around it. My grandfather owned a dealership. Great-grandfather actually started the dealership, so it's all the way from the 30s, and that's where the company name comes from.
Okay.
So the Greening Auto Company, it was pulled from there. It was dropped in the 70s, and they went into a big Chevrolet dealership, sold that, and the name never carried on. So whenever it came to our turn, I thought it'd be kind of cool to bring that back, and so we brought it back. So the Greening Auto Company name back. So.
Which is you do everything from retro to new to, yeah. I don't even want to say the word resto-mod because some people don't like that word.
Right. Well, it's whatever.
Yeah. But you you built this business up from, you started out actually doing media blasting and grunt work.
Yeah, it was, well, it evolved through, we're originally from Central Michigan area, and that's where all my grandfather's dealerships were all in Michigan. We went south because my mom's side of the family's from Coleman, Alabama, and so we moved down there. Dad was hauling milk, of all things, and working on hot rods at night in the garage. And he had done that for 15 years and was tired of the grind of that and the weather in Michigan and all that. And we thought, well, and I didn't want to carry on with him in that business. And so we decided to jump ship and head south. He sold his business out and we went south to Coleman, Alabama. And what kind of led us there was Paul Atkins has an interior shop down there, real established business. He was working on high-end cars then.
Yeah, a lot of people know who Paul Atkins is.
Yeah, and in fact, there's some interiors in here of his currently. So we're still using Paul and a lot of our high-end projects and so forth. But I was able to work for him during high school on some of the summers.
I love that I got a chance to come to Jesse's garage because you can see everything that he does here. In fact, he was kind enough to roll out two of his newer, better-known vehicles here that show both sides of what you do. I think it's cool. This has kind of got the old school look, and this has got the new custom retro thing going. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, or do you not even care?
No, I don't care. I love them both. There's a certain challenge to this side of it, you know, trying to reach perfection with the finishes and the layering of colors and everything else, and keeping underneath just as nice as you can possibly get it too, you know, and that's a huge challenge in itself.
And that's crazy. The underneath is just as pretty as
absolutely.
what people see.
Yeah.
You guys are nuts.
Yeah.
You're nuts. Well, one thing I know about the car world, Jesse, is it's a family thing. And this is truly a family business. I mean, I saw your dad this morning when we got here, and I know I've heard it from your wife how many hours you put in this place. So tell me a little bit about, you know, how cool it is. You get to play with cars and be with your family all the time.
Yeah, it's a very fortunate for that. It's a huge luxury that a lot of people aren't able to have. The relationship with my father is incredible, and you know, that's something that I really take to heart and enjoy, you know, every day of it, and I think it lends through with our employees. They're all treated as family and so forth as well.
And I always ask the famous builders that I get to talk to, like yourself, I know it's a hard question. Is there a favorite car, most influential car? What's the car for Jesse Green?
That's a tough one, but
I know.
It'd probably be the next one.
Yeah.
The next one coming down the pipeline. I mean, you always get that excitement of a new project or something coming on, whether it be mine or a customer. So it's
you never know. And you're so
know.
creative and innovative. You never know what you're going to do with that blank canvas.
And even if it you know, branches out into something weird, you know, those are exciting too. So.
Weird's good.
Yeah,
Weird's
that's right.
always
good.
I
know it.
And I just, you know, Jesse, I thank you. This place is fantastic. I know you already know who Jesse Green is, but I'm fortunate I get this chance to see this awesome stuff. I wish I could show you more, but he's got all kinds of really secret Riddler Award winning cars here that he's working on for the future. So thanks a lot.
Okay.
Coming up, we stick around the greening shop for a closer look at a Riddler Award contender. This edition of Dream Rides, presented by Steel Rubber, is being brought to you by Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it. Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. We hung around the greening shop for a look at this Riddler Award contending Corvette.
So Alan, tell me why you wanted to build a Riddler Award contending car.
Well, I was a freshman in college when these cars came out, and I really liked them, and I thought they were as good as the Ferraris or any of the European sports cars. And I had built a 33 Ford before this, and it's just my nature to do the best job that I could possibly do. And so this is the last car I'm going to build, so I decided to build it as good as I could build it, all that I could afford and all that I could possibly do myself. And I just wanted to go try. You know, I mean, you never know until you try. So I did as good as I could do and took it to Detroit and got a grade 8 and spent a fraction of the money of what the winners spent. So I'm very happy with it. And it was just something, you know, you only have one chance to do, or at least I only had one chance to do, so I did it.
Tell me about your favorite parts of this car. What make it unique and special?
Oh, no, that's a tough question, because the overall design objective was to modernize a mid-year Corvette in an understated, elegant way. I'd seen them done like race cars. I'd seen them resto-modded, where it's just restored on the outside with an updated drivetrain, and I'd seen them restored. I didn't want any of that. I wanted something totally different. And so I actually designed the car with Eric Brockmeyer before I ever owned a car. But my favorite part is the front end. Not many people comment on that. The reason it's my favorite part is because it just all seems to come together. It all flows. You think, if you look at it, you don't really know it's a Corvette. You don't know what car it came on. But it looks like an OEM front end. So it just came together. That's why that's my favorite.
Tell me about under the hood. Because you can't see a lot, but I know there's a lot of power there.
Well, yeah, black takes up all the light, and again, my overall objective was understated elegant. Yeah. And so we hid all the wiring, we hid all the air conditioning, plumbing, and Jesse did a real good job of all the metal work under here. And we just wanted it clean and simple. Again, understated elegant.
And what do you enjoy more, showing it or driving it?
Again, that's a tough question. You know, I took a year to show it, and it did very well. It won the Northeast Cup, as I said a minute ago, the Riddler. It was semifinalist of the Barrett-Jackson and a finalist for the Good Guys Street Machine of the Year, and all of that was nice. But I actually enjoyed driving it as well. When I built it, I wanted to build it to the highest level that I could without compromising it a lot for driving it on the street, and I've achieved that. I've got a couple hundred miles on it now, and I'm going to put some paint protection around the tires, and I'm going to drive the wheels off of it.
So what's next? After this car, another car, or is this it?
I have a car which is pretty much like the Valiant here. It's a 1951 Nash, the old Lois Lane car, and I have a 4-cylinder turbocharged Ecotec, and it's going to be a real beater car. So I'm going to have a pretty car, and not so pretty car, more of a beater car, driver car.
That's all from Nashville. Next week, Dream Rides takes a slight trip southeast to Henderson, North Carolina, to tour the East Coast Drag Racing Hall of Fame. See you then.